yet again, it was a family member. Yeah. So for everyone out there, it happens within the family. Most of the time.
93% of the time, it's someone the child knows, loves, and trusts.
Yeah, so your guard is down.
And then only 1 in 10 will ever tell. They don't have the words to tell. Like, your son did not have the words to tell you. Hi, I'm Angela Williams.
And I'm Katie Sudano.
And I'm a survivor of child sexual abuse.
And I'm a survivor of child sexual abuse.
Welcome to the Voice Up for the Voiceless. Here at Voice Up, we are shedding light on a deep, dark subject of child sexual abuse. So if you're just tuning in, we ask that you would share this because this is a message that needs to be spread across the world. We need to voice up. We need to break the silence. We need to break the stigma and the taboo for those survivors that are carrying that wound.
Yeah.
And we need to protect our children.
We need to just stop this already. It's so maddening. Yeah. It's so frustrating sometimes.
So we're so excited, though. We are, I don't know how many episodes in when this one airs, but we're quite a few episodes in. And we've just been so, I think, stunned and shocked and giddy and about
excited really
about
excited.
The followers and the viewers and
subscribers, especially on YouTube.
Yeah, we've just topped 10,000.
We're over 10,000.
So when this airs, who knows how many will be?
But. So we're at this moment in time. We're 4 weeks in.
Okay.
I remember when we hit 1,000. I remember I called you. I was like, what? I know, after like a week. So, I mean, it's very exciting. It's very cool. But for me, I think when I wake up, Angela, in the morning and I see the numbers, almost makes me want to cry because I know there's so many people who are affected by this, who are hurting by this, and clearly are listening to us. They want to know how to fix themselves or heal themselves or move forward or protect their children or also too, I know that a lot of media is starting to talk about this more openly, which I'm happy about, but they're not giving them the tools necessary. And I don't think they're the real numbers either. Yeah. But yeah, so while it's exciting, it is also a little shocking. You know, that they are people, so many people who want to hear.
Well, Katie and I really want to provide a community and provide a safe space. And today's show, Katie and I are just going to talk. We're just going to let y'all get to know us a little bit better. I think when you see us interviewing guests and asking questions, but Katie and I really have a heart for this. We have a heart for advocacy. We know the pain. We've been there, done that. If you are just tuning in, I am a survivor of child sexual abuse for 14 years at the hands of my stepfather, Katie.
Yeah, we have similar stories. You know, I was sexually abused by my stepfather. I think it was approximately 10 years, but you know, grooming and all that, who knows? And then raped at 14.
And it causes a lot of pain in your life. It causes a lot of doubt and a lot of issues around confidence and your value and trust, and you carry a lot of shame, fear,
guilt,
never feel safe.
Yeah.
So I went on and wrote a book in the early 2000s and published it, and just ever since kind of found a calling to work with survivors, come alongside them and help them heal, and have worked with thousands of survivors. Heal. Help them heal.
I make fun of your accent. I'm sorry.
Well, it's you cute. Do some of your Spanish, and I can make some of you.
I'll
mimic Wita.
I know. No, that's heal. Yeah.
Well, what Katie and I have too is I know and I'm speaking to women who are survivors, we have a hard time bonding with other women and having friendships that are really transparent and vulnerable and
Why
real.
Is that? Why?
I think we don't trust anybody, and certainly the women in our life didn't protect us. So I think that has something to do with it.
I guess so too. Well, plus I think not all women, of course, but I have found myself in circles, and I'm speaking about me, that they're just a little critical, and maybe I'm coming at it with the more sensitivity, so I feel more critical, and they might not even be critical. But yeah, when you're going through the healing process, I feel that we take things a little differently and maybe a little more profound than what is intended.
Well, we filter everything through that abuse. I used to find myself walking into rooms where maybe I didn't know a lot of people and feeling very self-conscious and, wondering if I say the right thing, if I walk the right way, if I look okay, just really kind of constantly evaluating myself. And I don't know when it was, but some years ago, probably about 10 years ago, I kind of taught myself up, and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to start walking into the room and saying to myself, everybody here loves me. Like, instead of just that critical
critical self-talk,
And it's really helped me. It's like, and they don't always love me. Like, it doesn't always work out. But just to walk in a room and just think, you know what, everybody here loves me, and I'm going to love meeting everybody. And I'm going to, just be real, just without, and try to take those filters off, which is not easy to do.
Yeah, because those filters, it doesn't keep you in the present moment. And so you do come across a little inauthentic. And it's just fear and negative self-talk. Yeah, which unfortunately is very common, I think, in survivors or any trauma-based people. But your book was amazing. It really helped me. And of course, you said that I should write a book. And I'm like,
I did.
No. Not happening. I'm not a writer. But I did. I actually wrote it. It took me 10 years to do. Everyone asked me if it was cathartic, and I'm like, no.
I say progress, not perfection. So you made progress, and I knew you were going to write it, Katie. And
did
your
you?
story
you had more confidence than
on
I
the big
did.
screen.
Thank you.
When truth gives strength to wings is one of the most powerful books I've ever read. So for our viewers, please read Katie's book. It does have her experiences of sexual abuse, but there's such hope and there's such resilience in her book that I think just gave me hope, and to see
when I started writing, yes, thank you. When I started writing it, I would never intended on talking about the abuse. Nothing. I knew you had said to, and I'm like, I will talk about my experience when I had my son and the escape from the country. Sorry if I'm spoiling it, but, because that was the thing. And then I'm like, well, if I talk about that, they're going to wonder why I married. And then I'm like, okay, so I have to talk about that. Okay, well, then they're going to say, why'd you get married? And then, I have to talk about why I was kind of felt like I needed to get married. And on it went until I was like, I guess I just have to rip the Band-Aid off and talk about the abuse.
Well, writing is so cathartic. I know when I wrote my book, it was an assignment from my therapist. It was like, you need to start journaling. She told me there's more room on the outside than there is on the inside. So I'm like, okay, I'll start writing. And it's like when I started writing, it just started pouring out of me. Like I so wanted to get it out. Like and now, especially with From Sorrows to Sapphires, that was my first book. From Sorrows to Sapphires, I don't have to think about those memories because I kind of tell myself if I ever need to revisit those memories, they're all in that book.
Oh, like, that's neat. I never thought of that.
Yeah, so I kind of dumped them all in there.
Yeah.
And if things creep in my mind or like, I don't need to think about that. They're in the book. It's in
the book.
I don't have to. I don't need to revisit that. If I ever did need to revisit it, they're all there. And I
guess that's a cathartic thing.
Yeah, I cut myself open. I pretty much bled on those pages.
Oh, are you kidding me? You have to, but otherwise, then what's the point of writing? People ask me, like, was it cathartic? I'm like, no, heck no. It was literally, let me cut myself open, watch it bleed, describe the bleeding, describe the pain, describe the emotion behind the pain, and then you have to go home after writing and wait till it heals and then do it all over again.
I would say I had that. It wasn't cathartic, I guess, in the beginning. I think when it was over and I had written it and I had published it and it was out there, there's that fear too. It's like, oh my gosh, people are reading about your deepest, darkest secrets, and there was so much fear around being so exposed, And I had some haters. I had some people like, within my family, outside my family. Why would you write that? Why would you, disparage our family?
Mm-hmm.
Why would you, why would you put that down on paper? I've heard, a lot of critical things about it too, but I felt like I did it for me and I did it for other survivors.
Mm-hmm.
It's like just to say you're not alone.
Yeah.
And if any of those words could help bring healing to another survivor, to help
or
them,
inspiration
anything, to
yeah.
know that they're not alone. Like there's so many common threads that run through survivors of emotions and struggles.
Yeah, I wish I could say the opposite for me, but we kind of, as per usual, we have the similar story. It's funny though, because my family encouraged me to write the book. They even gave me money and lent me money to get it published, and I thought I had their full support until it came out.
And they were in it.
Well, and I didn't write about everybody, but everybody decided that it was not a thing. I don't know, maybe because it hurt my mom and my mom was hurt, so they felt like they needed to align themselves with her and her pain and support her. And, they told me, they're like, why couldn't you have written the book without your mom? And I said, well, my mom's part of my story. She was my mom.
Well, let's both go on record that we never wrote our books to hurt anybody.
No, absolutely not.
And
absolutely not.
What we did is tell our truth.
Mm-hmm.
And I think
and it's not even our truth; it's the truth.
It's
right. happened. It's
the truth.
Yeah, it's the truth, because my whole family knew that this happened, and that this happened twice. And he admitted it. There was no secret about it. Once it was out, it was out. Mm-hmm. And I think that was very important for me to write the book. And describe how painful it was for me, knowing that my family knew what had happened, and yet they still invited this guy over, still partied with him. I don't know if protection is the word. I think they just swept it under the rug, and it was like, well, he's married to her. He's still in their lives, so how bad could it be, kind of thing.
How bad could it be?
Yeah. So meanwhile, I'm in the corner going, what the heck? You're breaking bread with this man and
not feeling protected. You didn't feel protected.
Even as an adult, and I talked about this on another podcast I was on, something happened within my own family with my own son. And I tried to deal with it the best I could. I told people first to protect the kids, because I don't know if this person is doing it to other kids or not. And also, too, because it's just, you can't keep it a secret. You had to make it aware. And then as people in the family started to get to know what had happened, the perpetrator, my cousin, he did also acknowledge that it was true. He did these things to my son. And it was really strange. After that, it was like a mute. Nobody talked about it. But I did see that on social media, which social media can be so painful without people even realizing. Here they are congratulating this perpetrator, how great he is, and he had this and he's that and that. And then my son goes on there and puts this heartfelt, very inspirational piano piece that he's doing, and 0 comments from the family, 0 likes. And that affects, he didn't care. Well, he says he didn't care. It affected me. Because I'm like, wait, you're lifting up the perpetrator who damaged my son for years, who is still traumatized, still trying to heal. And here you are kind of ignoring his outpour of his beautiful song based off of a painful situation. And and then I come to show, I turn around, and a very close family member is freaking having dinner at the perpetrator's house for Christmas Eve. I was stunned.
Well, for our viewers who have to deal with extended family that don't believe or who support the perpetrator, we just want to encourage you to continue to walk in your truth and continue to walk in the truth.
The truth, yeah.
The truth. And
support the survivor.
Yeah, family members, you need to speak up and give them some compassion and some love, and don't let it be this big dark secret, you know, in your family.
Yeah.
You know, I talk about it all the time, and we don't run around talking about child sexual abuse all the time, but just to let them know that you're there for them and you support them and you believe them.
Yeah, I think that's why I'm still, you can tell I'm a little rattled up.
Yeah, you did get a little riled up there, Katie.
I did. Well, you know, because it's fresh. Yeah. It's fresh within.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry that happened to your son. As a survivor myself, you try your best to protect your children, but then, and when it comes from within the family, that's an even, I think, a tougher wounding.
Well, that's a good point that you bring up, because, I had just come off of working in your nonprofit, and I knew the tools. I knew what to do. I knew what to watch out for. Like, we didn't do sleepovers, and we didn't, stuff like that. And then I was so protective over the girls. Mm-hmm. And I kind of feel like I dropped the ball with Andre, but yet again, it was a family member. Yeah. So for everyone out there, it happens within the family. Most of the time.
93% of the time, it's someone the child knows, loves, and trusts.
Yeah, so your guard is down. And
then only 1 in 10 will ever tell. Mm-hmm. They don't have the words to tell. Like, your son did not have the words to tell you. No. And he was probably just covered in shame and guilt and hurt and pain.
But and this is another point, we talked about it on Gloria Masters' interview. There was a significant shift in his demeanor. Mm-hmm. And we knew something happened.
So there again, viewers, if you have a child in your home and you see a distinct change in behavior, don't ignore it. Don't brush it off. Something. Don't think it's nothing, because it is something. And
we didn't brush it off. We tried. We were like, okay, what's going on? What happened? Mm-hmm. He went to other countries to visit other family members. So I'm like, did something happen there? Because it was so far away, I didn't have control. But, some survivors will tell when they're ready to tell. Unfortunately, he didn't get the help he needed when he needed it.
Well, praise God, he's got a supportive mom
and whole family and siblings,
and is always going to believe him and support him and love him.
Yeah.
And hopefully one day he'll have the courage to come on and tell his story.
I hope so. He tinkers. He says yes and then no. So we'll give him his space and but prayers appreciated on that front.
Well, I too want to encourage just our viewers. Katie and I are not professional journalists or broadcast people or media people, but we just have a heart to really break the silence and get this word out and to help survivors heal and to help children be protected, because it's an epidemic that's not getting better. The statistics are going up. More and more children are being exposed to pornography. More and more children are being sexually abused. Youth on youth abuse is up. Being abused in their homes, being abused in rituals, being abused everywhere. So
but I'm encouraged, though, and I want to say this. I am seeing more and more, Angela, that this is coming out. And I encourage people to watch it. There's Netflix shows now about Nickelodeon. There's
Sound of Freedom.
Sound of Freedom is out. There are coming out with a lot of documentaries. Documentaries. There you go. Documentaries,
honey. Documentaries.
That's a hard word. I encourage you guys to really watch it, because it's not a taboo subject anymore. This stuff is coming out, and we need to protect our children. So watch it, learn from it, and spread it. Just like on our show, comment, like, subscribe, and share. And
I'll get a little plug for one of my books,
Tough
Talk to Tender Hearts. You can get it a free download at voiceupforyou.com. We want to make our materials and our resources available to you. You can also buy it on Amazon. But if you want the hard copy, which I'm an old time, I like to fill my books and fill my pages. And my book that we talked about, From Sorrows to Sapphires, and then Katie, grab your book and show our viewers. But you can get those on our website, on our AngelasVoice.com is my charity that we work to bring counseling and legal support and all types of healing resources to survivors, and then prevention programs in our community. So we just are grateful. We both sit here very grateful with a lot of fear and trepidation because it's hard to be in front of a camera.
It's not a fun subject to talk about either, but it's so necessary.
And hopefully we can bring some levity, even though it is a very heavy. We do feel the weight of it, both of us. Mm-hmm. But hopefully we can bring some joy into your living room or into your workout or whatever, whenever you're listening to our podcast. But we just want to say thank you to our viewers, and please continue to share and to like and to help spread this really important message.
Absolutely,
right, Katie?
Yes. Thank you for watching. If you have any suggestions, any questions, feel free to email us. Our email's on our website. Again, that's voiceupforyou.com. We'll have the descriptions of all of our resources down below. And we want to thank Mesmerize Media,
our hero. We could not do this by ourselves. We are working really hard to grow our subscribership so we can get bigger and better. And if you're interested in sponsoring us, there's a place on our website to sponsor the podcast too.
Because, absolutely. Help pay for it.
Help pay. I know everything takes time and money. So we're certainly here with our time. We just need to raise some sponsors. So
absolutely.
10,000 and climbing. So your business will get promoted.
Yeah,
sure.
Absolutely. There's eyes on us, and we'll be more than happy to promote.
Yeah.
Anyone. Yep.
So I'm Angela Williams. Thank you for tuning in.
Thank you. And I'm Katie Sudano. And again, we're so grateful and so humbled to be here talking about this for you.